Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the first edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, where they stream on Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website, where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show to you this Monday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura.
And good morning. Today is Monday, the 4th day of August, 2025. And inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, after where the Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP been done then 2 days National Delegates Conference, outside and go talk about things where happen at the party and self been elect executive members them. A lot of conversation be sparked in the public, especially when a party within power for know about the democratic principles where they go practice in the National Delegates Conference, and also some of the members them where don't they make comments them regarding issues them we been happening during the 2 days National Delegates Conference. We make today in this edition of the Breakfast Show. Liberty Online TV asked the question, say, if the National Delegates Conference where the SLPP just hold, now one way don't strengthen or deepen the internal democracy, or it don't further divide the membership. Other question that we ask inside this edition of the Breakfast Show.
Well, for answer this question, at the studio, we get a political analyst, winner Electoral, na the political science department na Frabe College, and also in the head of country program for the international ideas, we don't they support democratic principles them for let them ensure say they strengthen democracy in various countries, them especially in Africa. When at the studio this morning, we get Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tarawali, when a political analyst. It can help we for look at what be happen inside the Sierra Leone People's Party, when the ruling party where they in governance, as them be spent 2 days now been to money for ensure say they elect new executive will go run the affairs of the party for the next 3 years. Well, this many people don't they praise the SLPP say now a democratic party because them being do the elections them in a transparent way. Also them being put box system, the media be they for cover and live so say they don't able for elect the executive member them. But and other people all the views say camps they don't begin for form inside the SLPP, and the National Delegates Conference don't divide them member them. What in this mean for a party in governance? Now that's what they can discuss inside this edition of the Breakfast Show. Well, I want to introduce one of our studio guests. We did with the studio, when a Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tarawali, a political analyst. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Khadija and Mabel. Thanks for not bringing me there finally.
I know, right? And also through a virtual link, we get Yasmin Jusu Sharif, when a lawyer and also an activist. In self day with we for tell we waiting on your opinion, what you think about the entire process of the Sierra Leone People's Party, the National Delegates Conference we then just done. Good morning, Yasmin Jusu Sharif. Hello, good morning. All right, we go try for get Yasmin Jusu Sharif. We join we all the way from the United Kingdom in day through the virtual link. But we start with you, Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tarawali, as a political analyst. You don't day salon for quite some time now. You don't they observe the political landscape, how political party they don't they conduct themselves for ensure say they strengthen democratic principles within them party and also now the country as a whole, especially for a party in governance. Let we go back to the 31st and the 1st of August. We see outside the Sierra Leone People's Party converge at the Bintumani Conference Center. Firstly, generally, how you can assess such a gathering of a political party within governance?
Thank you very much. National idea and the Department of Political Science and Frabe College. It's important for us to say my views and I not represent them two institutions that they are my personal view as an academic and somebody in Sierra Leone. But let's preface this question with maybe let's go back to the beginning. Because what we've seen at Bintumani is a culmination of several other activities where don't happen before we get to Bintumani, right? Over 3, 4, 5 months ago, maybe in March or April of this year, now SLPP begin the process of re-electing its officials across different layers within the structure of the party. And it's part of the democratic process. Now, part of the functions, the organization and function of a political party. It's also within the provisions of the Public Elections Act that it need to be structured in that manner, right? So they started off with lower level elections from zones. They go to constituencies. We see some tensions that happen at the beginning, right? Where PPIC had to be drafted in for help them in some of the lower level elections. From there, then go into the regional and district elections before then go now to the organs, right? The youth league, then call on the young congress, no, the youth league, yes, young generation, and then get the women's wing and all those other things. Then do all the election a day. So what we get July 31st and August 1st was a culmination of several other things will happen, and this is part of the democratic process. You can draw that one day into two things as a political analyst, right? One, if you look at the positives that will happen, the SLPP convention, one of them, the fact it seems, and from all the data, FIBA like say it's the changing of the baton from the old generation to a relatively, not youthful, but relatively younger generation. Nobody know they within the exec, especially the top 3 or 4 people we don't hit age 60. None. So if you consider that people in their 70s, right, late 60s, early 70s are living, and younger people, it's very good. It demonstrates that the party is embracing the fact that Sierra Leone is a youthful nation. And look at Jimmy Batilo Songa, look at Indepity, look at Paran. These are all Paran and my colleague na Afrobe College, right? These are people in their 40s, approaching 50s. So that's very positive. It shows we are moving to a younger set of people. But also we think come out from the convention day. Now the fact despite the challenges they will then get, and this is not to minimize the severe problems that will happen. We all know what happened at Onkolili, not so. Them born Oste. We hear about all the confusion. They even end up for sack a minister, sack one other director. So there are challenges. Let nobody not minimize them. But within all of that, do for we. Now the fact SLPP be able for hold themselves together. No court case, no other thing. And then go into the Binchumani Conference Center and say they elect the officials. And that's for me are two positive takeaway where any political party can learn from. However, on the flip side of all of these arguments is the question of the gender representativeness of the SLPP national executive, right? We call them the national officers. Right? 15 of them, only 2 are women. Only 2. And among those 2 then one a deputy role. I think only the treasurer, in a full-fledged role, right? The other one a deputy. Mawa Aliu, right? If you put that, me not a mathematician, if you put that into mathematics, that's about 13%. Does that meet the threshold of the Jury Act? Does that meet the threshold of the Public Elections Act? In my opinion, no. Second thing you can also consider is the fact that a lot of people, a lot of analysts don't begin to look at, dissect the executive and say, I remember immediately after the APC convention in 2023 and call it Kamakwe 11, right? Is this a Tinkoko 11? Have we all brought people again, right? Is the country fully represented by the nature of that national executive? Those are questions that people ask right now. But another question where they come up is, as much as this executive looks youthful in its outlook, look, some people will ask, is this the most belligerent set of people that have been elected? Is it Paupa Pro Max? Right? Or is this an executive way go open up begin for that conversation and truly build the ideals of an inclusive political party? Those questions are out there. But for CAM, so those are some of the basic things you can lay out, right? Largely peaceful in the final days, the 2 days of the National Convention, open and transparent in the conduct of the elections. They avoid court cases, a much more younger, forward-looking executive. However, what about in gender credentials? What about inclusiveness as a country? Do we have all the key regions, right, into that executive? Or is this a belligerent group where the extreme people, where the real power, they have been elected? What message is the SLPP sending if the public say this is not strong, not the extreme faction of the party that have been elected, right? So that's one set. The other set, Khadija asks about factions. And that's what I think it's quite concerning, although not new. You see at the run-up to the elections, then the names and big image. You get RIM, right? And you get Ibema. I hope I have pronounced it properly. Ibema. And then he add another word, the B. I was asking one of my friend when I very good man this week, I say Ibema means we not agree or it no go be. But if you add the B, we will say we not go agree at all. What does that mean? What message we go send? And we see people and very senior party officials, right, fronting those groups, right? Very senior party officials are fronting those groups. But we see how the Bema group won the female caucus, demonstrating that we have control over the women. But we also saw how the RIM group, right, won the YG elections. It was done in Kenema, I guess, in Kenema. Confusion Dede or Bo. Then Kamfri Tong, right? That process was led by the then party chairman. At some point, we see the party chairman stepping out. But again, RIM end up for win. So if you like say two major factions, the Bedma is there, RIM is there. But this is not to say these are the only factions. Some other people have argued that you have a very subtle and powerful movement led by the current vice president, who is has been seen as a very slick politician and can maneuver his way across the political divide, right? But you have other younger people that you've heard about, right? The foreign ministers of our world. But listen to what the First Lady says when he brings together some of his supporters, right? She was talking to the diaspora. And he don't even give him a gender lens. So the only strong female voice within the party. And they try for silence him, but would not be silent, right? She even gave you data. Say 420 or 425 of us out of 1,000 some 100 delegates. That's a significant proportion. 40+%, right? And he said the battle just start. The real test of the SLPP, Khadija, before we move on, this now sets the stage as we go into this conversation. The real test will be on the election or selection or appointment of the presidential candidates. We don't begin a hint. When His Excellency was speaking, he said we will do election, maybe we'll select, we'll select. Are we recasting 2018 with the APC? What implications would that mean? Is there disquiet at State Lodge? Are there variances between the president and his wife? What will that mean for the SLPP?
Quickly, before we can go to Yasmin, you don't highlight major issues since this election, National Delegates Conference done. Now, the area then they don't hear people really don't they discuss. We get for do it. The gender lens, the regional lens, and the set of people, the crop of executive where the SLPP don't get currently, where apparently they go for lead the party to the 2028 elections. For you, now outside the SLPP MISAM, for reach a point, then on the National Delegates Conference, issues where them they speak to, say them believe in, one, gender empowerment, then MISAM that party because the whole executive, like you said, don't highlight. They know the threshold in terms of involving more women. Whether or not now the space not been there or the woman them not been come out, that is a topic for another day. But from a political analyst, also you think say the SLPP MISAM for let the issue of gender not able for really be prominent in the national executive elections within just also.
When political elections of this nature get into too much of factionalization and camps. If you're not careful, you're missing critical consideration like national inclusion and gender considerations, right? Because you focus then become who is more likely for win for me the vote rather than how do I bring the country together in a more united force, right? And so because, and people know, this is true for all the political parties in Sierra Leone. Winning, who becomes the presidential candidate, is a pyramid of support. So if we win the zone level, then people are at the zone, and they can't vote at the constituency. They want them at the constituency, and they vote for the districts. They want them for the districts, and they vote at the region. The region, right? That's why they gather all the delegates. So from the beginning, people feel, say, if I want to be the presidential candidate, which is the ball, where everybody they look at, if I want to be the presidential candidate, I for begin win at that level there. The consideration then now that says, well, how do we ensure gender inclusivity? How do we ensure a united country becomes a problem? The last election, all the major political parties flouted that, but PPIC gave them some freedom. And the argument of the PPIC then was, they don't do the lower level elections before the Giwi Act came into force, before the Public Election Act came into force. And in the next election, the PPIC will follow that through, right? So I think, say, then divisions them, take them too much into not able to make, especially on the gender consideration, not able from Riankam. I feel, say, the other thing that play a role is the question of all the political parties. They seem for they choose an executive where they target the biggest opponent. So if you listen to the language during the campaign, right? They need strong person. They need somebody who able to challenge them. So it becomes then to say, who has the biggest voice? Who can actually match the main opposition toe to toe? And this one masks out consideration about, have we reached all corners of the country? Have we been able to bring in women? Have we been able to bring in younger people into all of this consideration? Of course, there are other forces, but I feel, say, the camps in determining who becomes, and these are all challenges of succession. These are some of the problems of a transition. When the incumbent president is no longer contesting in forthcoming elections, the tussling for power becomes very serious. And it gets your implications. We can talk about those implications later on.
All right, we'll come back to you, Dr. Tawali. Let me just try for see if we go get Yasmin Jusso Sharif. We join we from the UK through the virtual link. Good morning, Yasmin. All right, we still not able to forget Yasmin Jusso Sharif. Let's continue with Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tawali. We are a political analyst this morning. We look at the just concluded SLPP National Delegate Conference. Waiting this conference do for the SLPP in terms of practicing democracy within the party, is strengthening the democracy or it divide the member them. Now the question that we put before Dr. Mahmoud Tawali, when a political analyst, and they try for analyze some of the things them will be happen. Let we go back now the hall. Mm-hmm. Some of we follow keenly waiting be they happen inside the hall, the body language, the chants them will be inside the hall, and one popular one way. Some people are even print t-shirts they wear now.
The Kokoros.
The Kokoros.
Who are Kokoros?
You Kokoros stick to the plan.
Yeah.
And even where the first lady only on private dinner with young people from the North America, it talk and say in the hall, then they say stick to the plan. When they young camp they change and now move to the plan. Yeah. So all of that, don't they emerge? And even where the first lady be they come out after the convention, certain set of people be the boatam, and all of these things happen inside the hall. And the leader of the party make am clear say, they support nobody. They even say, I no give battle it, you don't begin on, also you dey run go. With all waiting happen at the hall and post-convention, let we look at now His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada being the leader. Assessing him, 7 years now, going to 8 years in governance. He go able to hold this party together, stay in transition?
couple of things. So in political science, we get what we call the negative capabilities of power. The SLPP is severely fractured. Nobody no lie to you. And what make the SLPP fractured now the challenges of transition. Right? And which is why I suspect why the president, His Excellency, don't decide, say, even the flag bearer is, would they push and force? Because once you elect a flag bearer, you go begin see the minister, they will and go to you, and then they go to you again. And they begin drive go now to the new presidential candidate. Right? Shifting of power, shifting of allegiances, and all the other things, right? But the negative capabilities of power, right? Now hold the SLPP. Some people have even argued that the fact that the SLPP did not go to court does not mean they don't want to go to court. It suggests that you are a minister right now. Maybe no one take the party go court. And sometimes you also afraid say if you take the party go court, the party can use the levers of power we then get for suppress some of them things and they, right? Whilst that those ones can happen for a reasonable period, once the party not there again at power, you go see it happened to APC, not so. They're able to manage all of them things and they post 2018, you see the breakup of the party and all the challenges that will happen as a result of that. But let me come back to this question where people then begin to talk about you kokoros. I don't know what in them, other they refer to, other in kokoros. Other forgetting cocoa, you go na kitchen, then fire cage. I don't know. But these are all politically charged rhetorics aimed at a couple of certain people, right? I think we have to accept that in this elections, we've had a first lady who is very unique in a couple of things, right? Hate her, like her. I think what she's been able to do is to demonstrate that I am a strong political character. In the history of Sierra Leone, we never get such a first lady, right? Pakaba in term, you been get Patricia Kaba. A lot of people don't know even Sabiam, right? Sick, he died. Later, the pair remarry. IJ became more powerful. He became the women's leader after when her husband don't die, right? In the days of Sierra Makoma, she had no position. Nobody even go APC convention. She just go left him and no more. And, but our current first lady is very fully involved and she's building a political constituency of her own. Is she doing that in sync with her husband?
I say that's not the way they do. I remember if they address delegates in North America,
yes,
where they just go America a few months before the convention. They say anything where they do politically, you get the backing of your husband.
That is what she's told us in the public, right? And but if you look at some of the lines we send at the conference then days or so, they say they are going to do well with all the United Nations support. Political analysts like us begin to ask, who is the United Nations? The UN was not there, right? That is an SLPP, entirely SLPP.
So as an analyst, who done at the United Nations?
I wouldn't know, but it just means a bigger power. Right? It means the line what I can read is those who won because a superior force.
Could it be the leader? Husband.
Maybe
or maybe the most powerful person.
maybe or maybe not.
Position wise.
Maybe not. It wouldn't come from my lips, but I'm saying a superior power within the SLPP, she thinks, don't support some other people. And so the question that leads is it really true?
You might not be, Dr. Tyrell, you might not be a body language expert.
Yeah.
But mostly as political analysts, them on can also serve in that position. You don't analyze politics, elections around the world.
Yeah.
The body language between Fatima Madabio and her husband that day in the hall, how you can analyze them, especially knowing how cheerful the first lady be. One thing where they take away from her, when music they play, they dance.
And the pastor can dance.
Yes, the pastor dance. You see how the pastor dance cocos. But Fatima was just there.
Listen, few things you can deduce from this. You can deduce the fact, say, we can all belong in the same political party, husband and wife, but I have a set of preferences, right? We're different from my wife. I can only speculate, and this is only very speculative, that the preferences of the First Lady may be different from the preferences of His Excellency, the President, right? And when you are losing an election, you sense them. So maybe all is fine between him and his wife, but maybe if one or two of you candidates them where you get preference over are not performing, right? You know, don't forget say some of the position and vote for them on day one, not so. So you already know who has won, who has not won, right? And if you come to the second day and you find out say some of the people are not win, your demeanor not going to be as great as you would love it to be, right? But for me, the question that we get forget an implication for the country and the quiet and democracy of Sierra Leone is there disquiet at the villa? If there is disquiet at Hill Station and everybody seems to have a different approach to how this should go, then that's concerning, right? In the normal days, it shouldn't be, because you would assume that the president is the leader of the political party, his head of state, his chief executive, right? He leads his party, he should take leadership on this. But you also have a first lady who is very politically active, who can mobilize, who has also demonstrated that I can build a constituency of my own. So the real test maybe will be when the SLPP move on eventually to, and which is why some other people think, I was having a conversation with colleagues in Ghana one of these days, and I feel say the delay of not electing a presidential candidate now, whilst you think you will bring quiet, is even dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that the factions are building up right now. You now have a national executive, and that tension in the next 1 year can lead up to anything.
So, Doc, I thought the same question we asked just now back to you as a political analyst. What would be your answer? The disquiet, is it really at the villa?
I wouldn't know right now if the villa is.
But based on what we see, Nabintumani, is there any disparity between the leader of the party when a President Bio and in wife?
So far, it's only Madam Fatima, we don't come out and talk to North America team, not so. And you also include some other supporters. She's the one who mentioned figures, right?
And man be absent.
And
all in dinner the way they
and the part not been there.
Yes.
Are we overreading this? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe it's possible that there is some disquiet. What is the level of that disquietness, right? Is it necessary for build cohesion or build network? We don't know yet. It's too early for us to because the election just done about 2-3 days ago. As political analyst, it is too early. What I can tell you right now is there are significant factions. If you go to the youth faction of the party, right, it is led by RIM. If you go to the women's faction of the party, it's led by Ibima. There are about 14 to 18 presidential candidates, all of whom believe that they have connection with the blessing and of His Excellency the President. However, in Binchumani, the President said, I have not anointed anyone. And this jostling, this tension underneath might catch up with a lot of people, including the villa.
Then kind factions here we the seen at the party, because this other one you described earlier for be the most silent one, where people they point fingers say they come from the VP. Now one way other people perceive them as the most powerful, where people they underrate at this stage. If then factions here na the SLPP continue with waiting and depend, so how it go affect them at the end of the day, wait same go reach for let them get to that for succeed President Bio?
So for answer your question is straightforward. We've seen this before. It is not new. We are not in uncharted territory, right? We saw what happened in 2007. Bakaba was leaving, heavy tensions about succession. Some other grassroots people wanted Charles Magai. Some other factors wanted the then former Vice President, Solomon Ikuma Berawa. Berawa was selected, right? Charles Magai break out, go from PMDC, and we know the results. Go back to APC in 2018, right? Over 18 or 20 presidential candidates they aspire, the whole dinner, the whole talk, factions then grab. He ended up on a selection process. And the slogan, Yusabiam,
let me just
come through.
Quickly, Dr. Tawali.
Yes.
We seem for the get issues with Yasmin Jusso Sherry for joining the virtual link, but don't join on the phone. Good morning, Yasmin, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Mabel.
All right. We they ask the question this morning, would they do post-analysis of the SLPP then convention, where they be all last week, Thursday and Friday to be precise, the 31st and the 1st of August.
Yeah.
Looking at all waiting happen, immediately you write a piece on Facebook. You've been concerned on how the SLPP be just focus on elections and other things them where you believe say they're supposed for don't look at. They not be able for look at them rather than just elections. If this happen at a political party, how it go affect the smooth running of the party?
I think it means a political party supposed to be concerned with the issues that affect the citizens. You know, we affect the people. The political parties and they seek power, they say, in order for make the lives of ordinary citizens better. So if you get a national delegates conference where you don't spend a lot of time, resources, and money for bringing together the delegates where they represent una in the communities, in the towns, and in the villages, then all waiting una do no more na for look inside una self, fet una self, and choose who that una they use for go forward for election. Then I think say una they fail in a major part of una job, you know, of una job as political parties.
Hello, Yasmin?
Yes. You hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Let we look at waiting be happen and now the SLPP don't elect the executive. Some people get concerned about one, gender balance, just like waiting the political analyst Naya Dr. Idris Mamutarawali just make mention of during his submission, the gender balance and also the regional balance. While they'll go back to 2018, where the APCB elects the executive, the SLPP been the call and say na Kamakwe Road executive, where means say most of the people away all top position in the executive now from the northern region. And similar thing do happen inside the own executive. Most people only believe say most of this executive top position now from certain districts of the country, both districts to be precise.
Actually, that's a very important point. But me want for point out something, which to me even more important. That the fact say that the SLPP, although their name say People's Party, then they insist for be basically apparently a tribal party, is for me is in some ways irrelevant because nothing we don't talk about today. Since we returned to civilian rule in '96, we don't talk about that, but we still they see that the major political parties they're not able for pull themselves on this tribalism because nine then they use for divide the people and for mobilize, for get support for their own narrow agenda. But for me, the more interesting and more significant issue I think we'll get for raise at this time, where we day in the middle of a debate on the electoral system where we get for use in 2028 or maybe it will be 2029, is the issue that in their election, without question, they use first past the post. You see, then every person getting one vote, it can't vote they collect on themselves, then they congratulate themselves, say they are the most democratic and peaceful election. But at the same time, in the wider public, the SLPP and it looks like even the APC, they tend to suggest to we as citizens that, maybe PR, proportional representation, and go be a better way for doing. Then they try for force we towards that electoral system. Why is it they not get a discussion inside SLPP about which electoral system for use? Why then immediately go to the one where everybody know, everybody understand, where very open and transparent, the first past the post where everybody know, then go, why then use that one day? They not even get a debate about PR. They say, charity begins at home. You mean for imagine, say, if nothing else, when then they try for insist on a PR system where nobody no want. You mean for imagine saying that then delegates conference, then for at least have a small discussion about what's the justification for using this particular electoral system rather than the other. So what you see very clearly is that the SLPP continues to be a party of do as I say and not do as I do. Because, the do as I do is do as I do for my own narrow sectional interest only. So those to me are the key, some of the key issues that come away and for which I think we need to highlight. We need to stop, we need for getting the politicians, we need as citizens for insist to the politicians that we cannot have basically, a country that is run by people who have one system for themselves and then get another system within the impose on all of we. They're not.
You consider this being a deliberate act by the SLPP for choose an electoral system internally way different from waiting in the preach for the country?
Absolutely, because they no say when then they look at their own all man they fight for the best system winner for their own interest. They look to the best system, We first use PR during the war when great parts of the country not accessible. People that may not be more than 20 years, most of them they not vote, even etc. There was risk of violence. That's why we had to use PR. But when waiting, we all know is one person, one vote. That's not the way for hold all man accountable. That's when the SLPP then vote for a chairman, then vote for Batilo, and then when they will vote for her, they no say it get for be answerable to them. So, but still, when then and then choose the best system, the one where we understand, the one where they insist on accountability, they put the delegates at the center of the relationship, for themselves, but they're trumpeting for the rest of us a system where in this 2023 parliament we say it's really no good. It's there's no accountability. We don't get no control over we MP them and we councillors them.
All right, Madam Yasmin, will they come back to you shortly? Let's just come over to the other studio guest, when Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tarawali. Coming back to the post-convention, the First Lady don't clearly talk and say, na inge the Secretary General, Paran Tarawali, where according to I said, it tell the APC been for don't Paran, say them for pull na parliament. He call and say, my son, come. I didn't ensure say you be Secretary General for the SLPP. The new PRO CSO Mambu is saying I'm taken from America forcefully, load and in private jet and car with him. The Deputy Chair, Robert Condema, where they all be dinner this in dinner, He say na young people and then they so nobody not for claim them. Now the SLPP don't get a new executive. Camps then don't begin say na me get this executive member, na me get this executive member. How this go affect the smooth running of the new executive?
It suggests there's going to be tensions, right? There's a chairman who's supposed to be the CEO of the party running it. I'm not really part of the Secretary General, but I clearly saw in that video, I see the deputy chairman, I see the PRO, where they all sort of give allegiance. So it also means in that 15-man national officers, there is no one voice there. There is no exclusive winner, right? And there is no exclusive loser. What in the end they mean is, yes, people will get conversations and arguments, but if people like say already the national executive seem to be aligned into camps. And but I've mentioned to you just now that even within that, people don't mention to we as political analysts, we don't get conversations, say there is a storm that a lot of people know they see, which comes from the vice president, who is also interested in succeeding his boss. And since the advent of modern day democracy in 1996, no vice president has been able to succeed his boss. What will that mean? If you, of course, Solomon Bewa get the chance in the game, he lost the elections. Sam never had that opportunity. What will happen with vice president if he does not get there? What will happen with other groups them within the political system? There are other conversations about other aspirants whom people have said, oh, there I didn't get the blessing of the president, even though the president don't say, I'm not supporting any candidate. But even within the whole, and this is something, I'm not sure how many Sierra Leoneans say here either, and the president even mooted the possibility of a selection. He said that, right? I'm not sure if the SLPP constitution currently allows for that. But it is not impossible that in the coming months or 6 months or 7 months or 1 year from now, SLPP will have a mini convention and you get changes into the constitution. If that happens and you don't forget a selection over an electoral process, will that further divide the party? And the real test of the SLPP, in addition, I take the point where Madam Yasmin they talk about the electoral system, although knowing electoral systems very well, the SLPP could and should have discussed, creates a room within the conversation for talk about the electoral system, but they could not have applied a PI system in their own election. It is practically impossible. You only apply a PI so you get a multi-member constituency. The role of chairman are one. So how you go shape that chairman role there for say, oh, this one get 30% of the votes, and so you forget 30% of the chair. You can't do that, right? You only apply a proportional representation, so you get plenty seats. And each of those rules have been one seat, so you can't apply it. But I think the point she's saying is there should have been a space for longer conversation in it. But waiting the election don't do. And don't forget, the election just done a couple of days ago. It done on the 1st. A lot of people are still thinking through what we go do. So there is strategic repositioning taking place right now. And if the SLPP is not careful, waiting all them together right now, like I mentioned to you, now the negative powers, the capabilities of being in power, right? You're not minister, you're not this, you get government contracts, so you're afraid. If that negative capability of state power is not around the party, it can lead to serious issues.
Doc, let me just get your own clear perspective and analysis of the question of the day, where we pose, say, this SLPP National Delegates Conference, it deepen the internal democracy or it don't further divide the membership based on what we don't analyze so far. What you go say to that question there?
So I'll answer it in two parts. So if you look at the level of transparency in the voting process, right? In the voting process, nobody has challenged the result. And that is, it's an indication that you lost and you accepted the fact that you lost, right? In that way, I think, say, it kind of deepen democracy internally. even if that democracy, well, we hear stories about, and this is one thing we will not talk about, it's the cost of politics. We hear stories about one candidate bringing delegates all the way across the country, puts in a hotel, over 500 delegates in one hotel, where one of it might cost like $100 for 3 or 4 days. So check 500 people times $100 times 3 days. I must have been that math day. Huge money, right? So you don't monetize the internal party politics. So if you monetize internal party politics, by extension, you go monetize national politics. If you monetize national politics, so I feel say, Liberty Online, for example, you need to generate resources for able for at least we will not make profit safe for able for run this outfit, right? It's a very good outfit, but need to get resources for run them. So if you don't spend them money also for be secretary general, for be vice chairman, who say you expect say go recoup them? You hope so your party go win and you will get some position and for recoup them. That corrupts the state. That corrupts governance, right? So in the first part, I will say the fact that nobody has gone to court, the fact that nobody has challenged, it means it strengthens democracy internally. However, election is a divisive process. And the reason why we see right now for just end Khadija is to say the SLPP is significantly divided. So maybe democratically, the elections are over and everybody accepts the outcome, but it's not to everybody happy with the outcome. You can accept it, but you're not happy with it. If you're not happy with it, and all Monday into camp, and not forget, the big fish they will not vote for it. And that big fish they go for that strengthen the division within the SLPP. So yes, the SLPP is significantly divided.
Dr. Mahmoud, one critical statement the way the leader of the SLPP make, now that in go ensure say the SLPP be the party we go set the record for letting them in power for 3 consecutive terms, which means President Bio determines say he go hand over back to in successor, whoever the person go be. And this now one statement where a lot of people don't they discuss, asking the question how. Now based on how it don't work, go make the people and vote back for whoever it get for succeed them, or we will get a repetition of what happened 2023 elections where up till now the opposition refused to accept the outcome of the results. And also again another school of thought, they say President Bio make this statement based on this new executive. For example, the Secretary General, lots of people hold the view saying a very radical politician. The PRO will come out from the CSO, the civil society space. People let me know for fierce activism, and Batido Songa as well. When at the new chairman, a lot of people know him for being radical. You think President Bio make them statements that are based on the executive we don't get, or now based on what if he say he don't do go make the people elect whoever the SLPP go give back for be the flag bearer?
So you can answer this in 3 levels. So with respect to His Excellency, you're not entirely correct that the SLPP go be the first political party for win 3 elections consecutively. I'll only anticipate with good faith. Yeah, since it means since 1996 we'll begin democracy. Maybe not that's mean, right? Let's assume that is what he meant. If that is what he meant, then he's correct. But if he just make the statement as broad as it is, if in an exam, I no go use my brain for judge for him, right? If in an exam, sorry, no go pass, because there are periods in history where other political party, the APC, don't win 3 elections consecutively. This is not even within one party. When the SLPP was contesting elections, right? So that statement, in the way it was said, it's not correct, right? For say he want for ensure, let's imagine say he want for ensure say since 1996 we'll begin democratic elections. He go because there is this conversation where they go amongst and saying 10 years. Some people call it a post-war political settlement. As academics, we should do more research for find out whether that is true or not, right? Because sometimes you see a political party they create in own chaos. We go make and follow a loss in your election, right? A lot of people believe say Pakaba creates in own chaos 2007 for a lost election, because if you begin Charles Magas until SLPP for don't win. A lot of people also believe say President Koma creates in own chaos in 2018 for the APC loss. We don't know what's going to happen, but that question will be answered by the Sierra Leoneans, right? if then they go vote the SLPP for the third time, right? We can only speculate as political scientists and based on the behavior of people. But politics is the behavior,
So
study of
based
people.
on the behavior of people right now, if elections happen now, President Bio in statement go come to reality?
I wouldn't know. I know one for speak for the people of Sierra Leone. Listen, people can forget say citizens are far more sophisticated than the way we think. That ordinary mama na kafubulom. We know they try for get light, they try for sending picking go to school, right? Where they try for buy petrol, where they try for fenway tea they eat, right? He get it considerations the way they take when he votes. And politicians can say anything, everything under the sun. Whether that could be the truth or not, it's up to the citizens for decide. But the question again where you ask about, and these are things that we don't come up. My worry is if the public think that this executive is belligerent and one way we go on for let us see them as belligerent, will it mobilize opposite reaction? And if you mobilize opposite reaction across other political parties, what does that mean for the country? Does it then now mean that almost every political party will elect the most extreme of its members? If they elect the most extreme of its members, where are we heading?
Because
it means
we say, what to be the foresee ahead of the 2028 elections if the APC back, because then say they can go into their own self your internal elections.
Yes.
Then self targets people and for their positions, just like how we already campaign so this executive of the SLPP will make before they elect them. If the APC do likewise, what will they foresee?
It's danger because you cannot stop. You don't make them you don't set this thing very nicely. We need somebody wait for martial law toe to toe. You cannot stop the other person from saying, okay, look who they've elected, right? And if this is the people they've elected, we are also going to elect people who will match them toe to toe. And if you match them, people then get payable when they say not so. Say we two elephants they fed, what do they suffer? Now the grass and they suffer. And if all of them are saying that we want to make Sierra Leone a better place, we are doing this because we want to represent Sierra Leone, and the public thinks that you are electing an executive that is you know gets character for compromise, you know gets an attitude for build a coalition, you know gets an attitude for bring everybody under one broad church, it seems they say this is extreme, then you are not helping the country. But the important thing before we go is for His Excellency the President. When you do it last time, I think there are important things we need to consider. Do you think about your legacy or you think about your success? Most presidents think about their legacy.
All right, let's just take the cue there and come to Yasmin Joseph Sheriff. We're grounded on human rights issues as a lawyer. The political analyst now make a very key point looking at the new executive of the SLPP, Madam Yasmin. The top three people, Batilo Songa, Parantarawali and Moses Mambu will officially be the mouthpiece of the party running to elections. A lot of people don't they see them as very radical politicians. And the APC self, they can go into the lower level election, begin select new officers them, leading to the executive. If then self-match people, they will go get the same character of the SLPP then own executive. What you they foresee heading to 2028 elections, where a lot of people they perceive say go be a very tense elections because the APC self don't they say na their own term for takeover governance.
Yeah, I think say we get for go back and remember say the most significant actor in the political system, the most significant act we don't really be transformative, not to either of them political parties then yeah. Now the people of Sierra Leone. And as they look towards 2026, I hope say we go able as a nation or for spend some time for look the history and of what happened 1996, where in fact the ordinary citizens led by ordinary women step up and say enough is enough and we get a change. I think say them politicians they one year we they call their name there so then 3 year. None of them been there involved in the struggle for return to civilian rule and democratic rule in 1996. None of them. And because we don't fail as a country, for let we teach the lessons of we history to we picking them. We they get then younger people here where they come. We're all team where they come with. I think a lot of them were maybe out of the country. A lot of waiting that they come with now a misunderstanding of the role of violence and force in politics. People who lived through the war in this country, who grew up in it and knew about it, they know what to make them come off 4 o'clock in the morning where we they drive for Gona police station and they see them woman they come up waiting being pulling that day. And the subsequent days, waiting be make where the voter then team up in a line, then the soldier man and they shoot in the air. Then the Allah say we they vote, we they vote, we they vote. Waiting be make party supporters then allow the SL for let them lock them inside the polling stations then with the boxes, not to then say I saw it, I was present, I was an election monitor, I was a reviewer at Collegiate School Road when the government, the NPRC government announced say there's going to be a curfew in 30 minutes. Then waiting for the box then they nobody no can collect it. People then was so anxious for let we change the trajectory of this country, that they say, okay, we they sleep inside with the representatives there, we they sleep inside, we una lock we inside, let nobody no can interfere with the boxes. And they say this because what we see is that people who don't know about our country, people who don't care about the future of we country and we picking there, people who are not genuinely committed to the progress of Sierra Leone. Now them get the loudest voices. And it's really necessary for let the communications people there, una the media, for let una tell the entire story. For me, the other sad thing about this SLPP process, it is show how fractured and fragmented and ineffectual and weak our media landscape is. Media out of the country, are they access to waiting? But you couldn't get a proper record, somewhere where you go sit down and watch the entire process and see waiting they happen. So and so therefore people cannot be educated. There's lots of people all over this country where not get all over Sierra Leone, we not get the foggiest idea waiting them in they do Thursday and Friday. And yet now they set the plan, now they set the landscape for the rest of we, which however many they were, 900, 1,000 of them, delegates. So we need in the years where they now, between now and 2028, we need civil society, independent civil society for wake up and grow up.
So, Madam Yasmin, this set of leaders where the SLPP don't pick now, and the APCCF, they can't pick their own set of leaders. The narrative out there, where most people they talk now that the APCCF for pick people that will go match the energy of this executive where the SLPP don't pick. And the executive
to energy. This waiting that they match, not to energy. Let the APC and the SLPP understand, see, there are other people in Sierra Leone apart from them. We all know stupid. We all know ignorant. We need what they call for is that they don't allow these people who have wasted the peace that they did not fight for. And it was a fight. in 1994 to 1996. It was a fight that brought us to civilian
But then
rule.
people here
It
now
was
are the
not a
current
gift.
leaders, now they are the current
Yes,
political leaders.
yeah, but I mean, if they call themselves the leaders, but if they're not a look to the interest of the public, then the citizens therefore look to their own interest. So me they say to people there, you don't have to be a member of a party. In fact, it's probably smart if you are not. But we get for find a way for mobilize we self for snatch we country, not a we party, or snatch we country back from them people here. Because they see and they bring people there who just don't know what they're doing. They don't care. Can you imagine una go take 2 days, 3 days just for election? You not talk nothing about the ruling party. You not talk nothing about the issues in the country. Then you pass a GIWI Act. You say a Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act. You don't make no proper effort for let you put woman there on the slate. And you not get even apology for that. You pass a law and then you said they break the law. They break the law. So waiting for look forward to now. So for me, I think say we go see waiting and not expect more from APC because now Alassane and Alusain business not mind that one.
Madam
You know?
Yasmin, this crop of executive members where the SLPP don't get, you think they then get the required experience for lead the SLPP to elections?
You don't get it. Of course, they get experience for lead SLPP to election. The question is, do they have do they have the experience? Do they have the intention to lead the country, to support the country, to move forward? That's the question. I mean, that is the question. Of course, then we've had elections where the political parties have behaved very badly and then continue for behave very badly in governance. So it's not a question of whether they can lead. Of course, they can lead. I mean, Putin leads. Netanyahu is leading. But leading to what? Leading to what? If right now, where everything waiting, una not able for talk about the people na yenga and the situation na yenga. You so wrapped up una your own selfishness. Una not able for put together a system we go allow everybody in the country for at least listen and watch what una they do. Then what una plan for do with the country?
Madam Yasmin, most media houses being cover the event live, including Liberty TV, throughout the 2 days. We did live and most people be watch the event. But quickly before you left, you there among the people that we hold the opinion say the SLPP really practice democracy by way of holding very transparent executive elections outside the entire world being see?
If it's just, an election should not just be about personality. An election should be about issues. An election should not be where somebody will come out afterward and say, these are 400 votes are my votes. These are my people. That's not what elections are supposed to be about in a political party. A political party is about the stand you are taking on the issues that matter to the voters. That's what should be even at that. Now that on that basis, they you for pick. They pick on the basis of waiting RM, whatever, or IBEMA. No, that's not a political party. I'm sorry. It's a personality cult. Just like the APC was a personality cult under Shaka Stevens. We bring we to Usai we there and the repercussions still there pan we. We get for know the difference between personality and policy. Political parties not just about, singing and dancing. I'm sorry.
All right.
That's not a party.
All right, many thanks, Madam Yasmin,
Thank
where
you,
you join
my
with
dear.
this morning and give we your opinion about what you think will be happen on the 31st of July and the 1st of August. Outside the Salon People's Party be hold the National Delegates Conference and they don't elect new executive member them. Quickly before we look at on our messages, that we come back to Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tarawali, the political analyst. We don't deal with twin at the studio. He don't give we analysis on so many angles there about waiting be happen inside the hall, after the hall, and waiting the future hold for this new executive. A party we poise say any kind way. Then for the 3 consecutive terms na office, even during the campaign towards the delegate conference, so see candidates then by then like the parent, the new spokesman say, then for ensure say then continue for keep the APC in opposition. Then the APC self hosting them mouthpiece na CDI at Tunis, then believe say this 2028 elections, it not go happen like waiting happen 2023. They are determined for take power.
There are a few things we will need for consider as a country. If we not consider the issues, then we're in trouble. So first, I think, say, people know the difference between threats, violence, right, and alternative positions, right? This is just my own general advice. My general advice is you don't match bad for bad, right? You don't match evil for evil. And I feel if the opposition presents a more inclusive, a more forward-looking policy proposals, right, where the people can look favorably, then the people of Sierra Leone can make judgments. We've done so in several elections. There are examples across Africa. Jamaica would have been feel say go lost election in the ballot box, right? Would have been feel say dictators the way done in the world go lost elections. My encouragement to all the political parties is to say the drive should not be about me go stay in the power at all costs. The drive should be, are you engaging with your people and providing the necessary public services where go make the people and take that decision? They say, this is a party or this is a government worth staying in power longer than 2 terms, right? I said that should be the decision of the government of the people of Sierra Leone. But also, what in this mean for we all, people who will be there na civil society, people who will there na the kind of a third force we're not involved in mainstream political parties, and say, if we cannot speak truth to power, if our political parties are not responding to our needs and our challenges, what's the essence of us having them? So I think this is the thing we should be thinking about. We get lessons the world online. We're still dealing with. My office has been very active in supporting the government in implementing the tripartite committee recommendations, right? What people don't understand about those recommendations is the fact that they emerge from electoral disagreement. We disagree, say this election not clean, and therefore we all go into this kind of process and say, look, we change X, Y, Z. That's very important. If we're not able to fix them problems and ahead of the next elections, and all that we care about is to ensure that we win the next elections, then it means that we are not serving our people. What we truly should be focused on is to present a set of leaders who really understand the issues, who can engage with the people of Sierra Leone. The people of Sierra Leone 20 years ago are not the same again, Mabel and Khadija.
Doc, at this stage, if the SLPP, based on say you've been starting the conversation, seeing them way a clear see them miss now this national executive national delegates conference, the issue of gender prioritizing women, the issue of regionalism, inclusion. If they don't miss some at that stage there, is there any room where they're going to fix this, move into same way they're going for decide who that they go want for succeed President Bio?
Before the SLP gets to this point, they started from somewhere. And I think that's where the problem is. And this is what most people, political parties understand this. The citizens don't see and so too much, right? It's a pyramid of voting. May I make one person go able to tell you, say, oh, I get this kind of number of support. This is because you begin for win from the lower level, right? So if you don't miss them from the lower level election, you only need for take another 3 years before you're able to correct that error there, right? And when you come back to the only position we don't left now, which is the icing of the cake, the big man himself or the big woman himself, is the question of who becomes the presidential candidate and who becomes his or her running mate, right? And deciding that, my worry is the party does not get fractured before they get to that point. Because all them camps here, all these feds, yes, the chairman is one, yes, the deputy chairman, the PIO is all of that. But at the end of the day, all of them are working towards one objective. And that objective is who become the presidential candidate. How can the SLPP fix in two positions, the presidential candidate and the running mate, by the ills of missing female representation rights in the national executive, by missing a more inclusive, a more regionally balanced executive? It becomes tough.
They claim say the only voice, female voice, na the SLPP, and now then they try for silence them. Is that true?
I am not sure. I'm not within the SLPP, so I don't know if then they try for silence them. But if it comes from the first lady, then you have to take it serious. Me question then is she the only female voice?
That's what she said.
That's the question. Is she the only female voice? Are there not other women? You get a parliamentary female.
Get the loudest voice amongst them all.
Maybe it depends on which you define as a voice. Is it person who talks more?
Yourself earlier don't define and say she's a very good political strategist.
Well, I say she's a different first lady.
Yes, you're able for positioning herself within the SLPP. It can redefine the role of the first lady. You see now how it go to the level of becoming a delegate voting.
Well, she not redefine the role of the first lady. There is no role for the first lady, right?
Well, now we'll get the office of the first lady.
Let's just set it.
We'll see any.
Khadija, let's set this as we go on, right? If you go now with constitution, there's nothing we don't call the office of the first lady. The wife of the president will always remain a respected person as the wife of the president. I agree.
They get funds from the consultant.
But let's set the fact. Do you know in the constitution of Sierra Leone, now only one ministry, right there shall be an office of the Attorney General, who is the Minister of Justice and Legal, right? Now the only ministry that one day we writes are the constitution. The constitution said there shall be other ministries as deemed fit by the president. This is why President Bio was able to create an office of the chief minister, which is why presidents are able to break up ministries and create the way they want, right? So the constitution not provide for an office of the first lady, but we acknowledge and respect, say, the wife of the president is an important person within the architecture of public service, right? But within the first lady they're able to do is to say, I am going to position myself as an important actor within the SLPP and within the state. Will that pay off the SLPP? Will that pay her off? Is that a disadvantage or will that be an advantage? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Does that bring the party together or does that divide the party? Have we had a time when a first lady leads a movement within, right, the political party of her own husband, and indeed where she is also a member, and positioning herself for leadership? Have we had that before? Will this mean a lot of things for the SLPP going forward? I think those are the questions that we have to ask. And let's keep the fact that all of these divisions of RIM, of IBEMA, of acquired forces, of the vice president, we're not getting it. And not the only one, other forces that are operating, what will that mean? Especially now that you keep a long moment before you elect the presidential candidates. Will they have killed each other before they get to that stage? Will that have an implication for 2028? I will say yes.
Okay, quickly, before we can take messages, Madam Bio make very strong statement during in dinner we all with the North American delegates them. He say Ian Batilo, when at the now chairman of the SLPP, then get disagreements. Okay. We means they see eye to eye. Okay. So if a first lady we don't position himself as the CEO of EBEMA, clearly come out and say, then get disagreement with the leader, you think say they go able to settle this agreement within the course of time, or this disagreement go affect Songa for able for position the SLPP for take on power again, as they say, then go win the 2028 election, considering the character of Mrs. Bio being very strong character within the SLPP, and most people they perceive and say, then they afraid them.
I will give a very academic answer. I teach conflict analysis in a master's program at Frabe College. I always tell my students that conflict is fine. We disagree almost every day in our lives. You're your husband, you're your partner, waiting for work, waiting for each other, disagree. That conflict becomes a serious issue where we're not managing well, right? So every political system, people disagree. But you can transform that disagreement to something positive. If the two actors say, then disagreements will be self-destruction for the SLPP, if they are rational enough, I hope they are. If they are rational enough, they will realize this disagreement may affect the party, and so let us close ranks, right? You would expect that conflict is a process of understanding one another, and in fact, it will even lead to better relationships. However, if that process is not properly managed and it escalates, it is that escalation that leads to destruction. And when it leads to destruction, we have seen in the past, when those disagreements are not able to get a common ground, we say they resolve them, they lead to tension, they lead to further factionalization. And the SLPP is already in factions. And if it leads to further factionalization, it makes the party weak, it makes the party unprepared, and all then talking about keeping a third term becomes only boast rather than actual ability of the SLPP to retain political power. So it's existential. The divisions within the SLPP are existential. Will they resolve soon? I feel they are very deep, and some of them don't even affect personal relationships. Can they resolve them? Maybe yes, maybe no. But I also will say, for me, this is the bigger question. And when I be asked just now, is there disquiet at the villa at Hill Station? If there is disquiet at the villa at Hill Station, I was talking to a colleague political scientist immediately a day after the election, and this is what he told me. He said, listen, he gets suspicion, say, waiting the presidents don't do is to call back his boys to base.
You hold that same belief?
Well, this is what a friend told me, and
yes.
he said, and he's
educated. You also as a political scientist,
he is educated enough for me to trust him.
So you hold the
so
same.
So he said, perhaps just say, listen, now maybe senuna, yeah, now be just one creates opportunity, law all talk, but if possible, one challenge me, come back to base, and if you don't call him boys and back to base, he's trying to say, I am in charge here.
So it's the internal dynamics of the SLPP. Him being the leader of the SLPP, whose role for play if he forgets them all together? Because if in WEF, clearly at the Ebema camp, we get the RIM Rim, we get the silent one back from people suspecting her from the vice president. As a leader for the party, whose role in need for play at this time forgets them all together?
He gets a responsibility. He's the chief executive. He's the father of the nation. He gets a responsibility of putting this country together.
Forgets them together.
Well, first of all, he has to think about the country. The country comes number one. It trumps political party interest. If a division within a political party has the potential of affecting national unity, it should concern him. And if you not concern him, then it's very serious. If for concern His Excellency, and if for ensure, say, whatever it takes for let that unity there exist. Because if you not concern him, Sierra Leoneans might punish the SLPP in the ballot box. And we've seen that in previous elections.
All right, Doc. Now look at messages. Seem like you are the man of the moment today. The move by say where I go first take from say I'm just enjoying this analysis. The way the analyzer is analyzing is really enjoyable.
This one from David M. Tholi, now the YouTube channel. It say one thing these parties do not recognize is that the powers and strength they have is given by the people. I encourage Sierra Leoneans to really think wise in choosing the next leader.
It's Karim. They say Dr. Tyrell is a smart analyst. He's really grounded.
This one where I go look at from Jibril Bangura, it says selecting young individuals to represent a political party is a good strategy, but the main concern is whether they've demonstrated responsibility through their past actions.
Adam Assisted, they say, good morning, Liberty TV. I have no doubt Dr. Tawali is a good analyst in politics.
Alhaji Ali Sharif say, very astute and seasoned analyst. Your thoughts are always insightful, Doc.
Sheikh Umar Jallo, they say, Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tawali is a thorough gentleman in the world of academia, promoting democracy and good governance in Sierra Leone and beyond.
Charles Songo say Constitutional Review Committee White Paper recommendations prefer proportional representation that was presented to former President Koroma.
Ishmael Mansaye, there's a great analysis from Dr. Tawali. There is a ticking time bomb in the SLPP that they need to pay attention to before 2028.
This one said the Gender Act will fully be implemented when women take ownership of their own destiny, as the law has enabled the women to take responsibility for their positions in society.
Jibril Kanu, they say, good morning, Khadija and Mabel. Please extend my greetings to my brother, Dr. Tawali. He has actually nailed the discussion by highlighting all the issues. I just hope APC will learn from this and seek the advice of my younger brother before their party convention.
By Bangra Celibacy, this morning program is very educative and eye-opening.
This one from Suleiman Fode Kamara, they say, I'm very pleased to listen to a lecturer, political analyst, and a two political scientist that has so much to offer to the political landscape of Sierra Leone. Thanks, Dr. Idris Mahmoud Tawali, for your frank analysis. The Political Science Department, FBC, is proud of you.
This one from David M. Tholi, it says, Sierra Leoneans, please let's consider ourselves, because now we get for suffer in all of this. So starting from the elections here, you will know what's the head of 2028 elections.
All right, Arch Dalton, they say that's exactly the sad thing about Salone. A whole national convention finished with the same diabolical state of suffering, hardship, punishments, no bread and butter for the citizen, neither the glimmer of hope to end the suffering.
This one from Abdullah Yatta is saying, Mr. Tarawali, how would you describe the political experience of the Chief Minister?
All right, more messages. We don't come na the program this morning. This one, they say politics is a fierce game and no one is willing to entrust it in the hands of women, not even the West.
All right, we look at more messages. Usman Fambule say, great analysis, Doc. However, female participation is in the key party is key.
All right, so many messages, but we'll just take few, then we'll come back to Dr. Tawali for wrap up. This one from BK Kalon, they say the mistake where SLPP make 2007 not going to ever happen again. Pakaba open Christina Thorpe, she ended up appointing Christina Thorpe, she ended up destroying the SLPP. This not going to ever happen again.
Valentino Camara say APC we unite. If person thinks we're not united, make them wait after we convention.
All right, so last one for now. They say very interesting and interactive program this morning. Thanks, Madam Sharif and Dr. Tarawali, for your brilliant inputs on the Liberty Breakfast Show. We need independent media houses to focus and continue educating the public on national issues.
Because of time, Jibril Samura say APC needs Mr. Tarawali to take power and lead the people of this nation. He really knows the do's and don'ts.
Samuel Yature and Dr. Tawali are good political analysts. They're both good at their jobs. Well, from their messages, then they come back to Dr. Tawali. Respond, they will go wrap up because of time.
I don't know which one for respond to. The one way catch my attention or the one way the person say. So I always say this in my first year class when I teach comparative government and politics year 2. So there's a difference between political science and a politician. So the job of a politician is to go out there, canvass people, win political power, and decide over our lives. Yeah. And we as political analysts, our job is to assess, analyze, and evaluate political systems. I don't have what it takes to run for public office. So I tell the person thank you, but I will never run for public office. I can confirm that.
Why you consider yourself?
No, I will never run. I'll never run for public office.
Is
never.
it too toxic for
I don't
you?
feel say that. I don't feel say I'm wired enough. I know. I dey work in a serene environment. I dey enjoy for work na. Sometimes we lock. I dey inside office. Write me email. I do me job. Deal with donors. That's what I have done all throughout my life, and I enjoy doing that. I don't feel so able for run for public office. Somebody asked me, I don't have for comment on individuals, right? He asked me to be relationship. I think the chief minister is a fine gentleman. He's a friend and brother. I guess the unique opportunity of working with him as part of my current job, what I do with in the national idea. But he's also a politician, right? And politics you get your way for manage people, right? Good idea. I think he asked me if he get experience. He don't serve in government, not for 7 years now. If you don't do in a government for 7 years, I think if you want if you practice work, unless in a carpentry for 7 years, you must be make chair now, not so. If you not be make chair, it means you are not paying attention. Like I say, I know I'm for comment on individuals. My overall position in all of this is people usually don't pay, and this is where I differ with other political analysts. We can dismiss political parties. Right? My big sister Yasmin, 10-4, so left there, all not the same now, last and all time. But I think we missed the point. The point that we are missing is what political parties sit and think becomes the national agenda. I say this to my students all the time. Agenda for Change in 2007 was an Escoma's campaign manifesto. Agenda for Prosperity 2012 was an Escoma's campaign manifesto. Midterm National Development Plan, right, was the New Direction manifesto. This one now, Big Five, right? Now the presidential agenda. So it's actually what political parties set becomes the national agenda. So it might as well go back and fix the recruitment of our public officials, because these are the people who will take big decisions that affect your well-being. Now you go determine whether you go get lights. Now you go determine whether you go get electricity. Now you go determine when they pay you salary. Now you go determine the relevance of that salary when they pay you. So I think it is time that we go, if we get an opportunity for international development actors working with political parties, and fix these political parties and ensure that they are democratic, they are inclusive, right? And they understand the processes of governance. If we get it right there, it is the recruitment process. Political parties, elections, and the recruitment process. If we are like, we don't recruit person there, we go ensure say we recruit the best. I think we have a responsibility of ensuring the political parties are streamlined, are capacitated, such that they can do the best recruitment. If we don't do that, it is the people who the political parties nominate that will go to parliament. They will make our MPs. Those MPs will determine our laws. It is the people who the political parties set in that will form the executive, but then they'd be in charge of policy execution. And the presidents get the power for appoint people in the judiciary that then go implement our own rights and go help we for interpret the law. It becomes a problem. So political parties and politics in a critical process will get for fix them very well. I disagree with another comment where say, oh, nobody not rely on women. It's wrong. I don't think we should say this kind of statement in 21st century, Sierra Leone. No. We have a law. Now we write them. Our women advocated for over 50 years. Women constitute more than, right? They constitute more than 50% of the population. 30% is even tokenistic, right? Not token we give them. I think women should actually sit in the rightful position. If they are 51% of the population, they should occupy 51% of public offices. But the fact that we don't agree say there is a law, we say 30%, we have not even a moral. We have a legal responsibility. Political parties have a legal responsibility to ensure that they fulfill that mandate. To end, I will say politics has changed significantly in Sierra Leone. The politics of 1960s are not the same again.
Change for the good or bad?
But no, the people are not the same the way they used to be. right? Some part of it, in terms of thinking, in terms of judgment, you still get a lot of people when at the party they carry them. But you also get a lot of people where they rationalize. Social media, digital platforms, such as the job that you guys are doing, right? Don't provide an opportunity for citizens to challenge narratives that were not correct, right? If a political party decides to take the citizen of Sierra Leone for granted, they are doing so at their own peril. Because the citizen, at the end of the day, will make a decision in the ballot box. If you don't respect their views, if you don't respect their opinions, they will punish you at the ballot box. And we don't see their examples in Sierra Leone in the past, we don't see them in other parts of the world. Political parties have a responsibility to be responsive to the needs of the public. If they are not, they'll be punished in the ballot box.
All right, Dr. Tarali, many thanks for joining me for the very first time in Calm Now Studios. We hope say you will continue for avail yourself because the viewers then seem for the enjoy your analysis. From time to time, we're going to call you for talk on issues that we get.
I didn't have village. For Gap Day for Calm. For Gap come on a village from Hastings. You know, see me eyes and bump because I have to wake up maybe 5, take a shower and drive Calm. But it's important. I don't delay, but it's better late than never. Yeah.
Well, we will continue with this same conversation. As always, Liberty TV, they are for bringing on all views to all sides to different views and opinion them. And hopefully, we will try to get the new executive for let them can respond to all the emerging issues there, especially the issues we get for do with women's representation and the executive. We will try for bring them sometimes this week, but we'll continue this same conversation, bring different analysts them for ensure say we dissect on the issues we get for do with the post-convention of the Salon People's Party. Many thanks so you don't join with this morning. You send your comments, apologies if we're not able to read your comments, and also many thanks to Musa Saokoma and Samuel Thomas. We support the production team for bringing this edition of the Breakfast Show come to you. Mina Khadija Bango, they say have a nice day.
All right, till we meet again, Mabel Kabade, say get a good day and goodbye.